Hey guys, welcome to the dealer demo videos. I'm Jerry. I'm one of the owners at Double Diamond Fabrication. I just want to kind of start by telling you thank you for being interested in this program. I'm going to kind of go over who this program's for, number one, and number two, the benefits and what this is going to provide. And then we'll get into the actual nuts and bolts of the program and how it works in these three demo videos. So who this program's for, it's pretty simple. This is designed for people that already have an established and existing welding business. This is designed to use your existing shop, your existing tools, your existing labor pool that you already have, and basically be a turnkey business system. Everything from sales, marketing, to actually building and installing the product is turnkey and ready to go. The benefits of this program are pretty simple, but basically it's for those that are looking for something that is easy to scale and train employees to do, where you're not gonna have to babysit everything, just because everything is so documented and idiot-proof from start to finish in terms of selling the beds, building them, installing them, everything. And then we use jigs and that sort of manufacturing processes to basically just replicate it over and over again. So it turns into a very efficient and scalable business system for you. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through basically the dealer platform, which is what all the dealers get access to, and how that works. We're going to go into a screen recording video, kind of give you the nuts and bolts of what's included. It's going to be blueprints, cut files, how all that kind of stuff works. And then the last two videos, we're going to get into the Excel sheet, and that's going to set your selling prices and also your profit margins. You can adjust those up and down to kind of be what you want in terms of what your business expects you make on a profit margin basis. And then lastly, the sales and marketing system, how all that kind of thing works. So let's get right into the screen recording of the dealer platform, and hope you enjoy the show.
All right, welcome to the dealer platform tour. So the dealer platform is basically the place that you get all the needed tools, blueprints, cut files, everything needed to basically build and install the flatbeds. So the way that it works is you get a unique username and password, and then you would just go onto our site, log into the dealer platform with your user credentials. Up here in the top right corner, you just go over dealers and then hit dealer login. It would bring you to your dealer platform. So the way that this model works in terms of the flatbed builds is, they're a portion generic steel, meaning tubing, flat bar, that sort of stuff, and then a portion of them are machine cut parts, such as the stuff you'll see here. The tail components, gussets, fuel plates, that kind of thing are CNC cut parts. So you don't necessarily need to have a CNC table in-house for this program to work for you, because we can ship you the machine-made parts. But it is helpful in terms of the economics of it if you do have your own table, because obviously that's going to make your cost of goods cheaper if you can machine the parts in-house. So I'll quickly go over how this works in light of that. So the first thing is the video tutorial, and this is a exhaustive, extremely detailed step-by-step tutorial that goes over building, wiring, and installing the flatbed. So it has 27 different modules. Basically, you just click this three-line play icon and you can scroll between the different modules. You would start with nothing, and then at the end of it you would have a fully built and installed bed. This is going to go over the build process for any model. It's going to show you the differentiations between the three different deck types that you can build, which are going to be Trex composite, wood deck, or steel deck. And the blueprints will kind of go over that as well here in a minute. But basically this is needed for probably your first 1 to 2 beds, because after that you're going to know the process, use the same set of jigs, same process, replicate it over and over again. So this is really just an employee training tool for the first couple units. The next section down here is going to be the business tools, and such as the Excel sheet. That's what you're going to use to set your selling prices and profit margins. I'm going to go over that in video 2. Marketing playbook, how to sell, you can view that in the due diligence links. That's just basically ways you can build or get beds sold using tactics we've proven here in our headquarters shop. We got a video on how to source cheap steel, so you can basically know if you're getting the best deal from your supplier on your steel, and how to find new suppliers if you're getting screwed. Gallery, if you need to have anything for marketing photos, this is going to be a really helpful gallery. You can pick and choose basically the model that the customer wants and send them the photos for it. That way they know what it looks like on their specific model. The next thing is the order form. That's basically just if you have somebody that places an order, you fill this out with their information. It ensures you ask all the proper questions. You have an organized way to basically, spec out their build so you're sure it gets built correctly. The customer call and lead text script, That basically goes over, what to do when you get a lead, how to call them, how to follow up with them, what to say. Basically, the same tactic we use in our shop that's been proven. And then the last thing here is schedule a check-in call. Now, you do have on-demand access to us at all times during business hours via support phone and support email. But if you have some sort of deeper issue or question or that sort of thing, schedule a check-in call. We can go over, if you're having trouble selling or if you have questions about making your marketing better, that sort of thing. Obviously, we're happy to help anytime, so that's there at your disposal. Okay, the next section down is going to be the important info before building. This just kind of lists some things about certain models, rules of thumbs, things to be aware of before you build any units. That way, it's just kind of one of those things so you don't get caught with your pants down once you get into the process. That's going to basically go over anything you need to know in terms of importance before you take certain model orders or whatever it may be. So the blueprints, this is probably one of the things that you're going to need to get on here to download quite often. These are just listed by model, so it's pretty simple. Whatever model of pickup the customer has, you would just obviously use the corresponding blueprint and go through that blueprint with them in terms of the build. So, let's say they got a 1995 Dodge 2500 short bed single rear wheel. You just click that blueprint, open it up, and then I'm going to explain basically how these blueprints are laid out. So obviously, tools and equipment needed, blah, blah, blah. This is the material list of what you're going to have to source. And this is also laid out in the Excel sheet, but this just goes over the material needed to build it. You have differences between if you have a wood or Trex deck model, you're going to have the certain material you need for that. If you have a steel deck model, you have the additional stuff you need to buy. And then if you have bed rails, which is going to be something the customer may or may not order, that lays out the material you need for the bed rails. That's optional. This next page basically explains what each thing is used for. So, it corresponds the material type to what it's used for. Pretty simple stuff there. This is the jig build diagram. So you really only need this once. You're going to need to build, one jig. If you got a couple guys doing it, maybe 2 jigs. But this just specs out the jig build. And the other thing is that you should be using the video tutorial, especially on your first 2, as the main form of instruction. So on each of these pages, it kind of lays out, you got it tells you what video tutorial to watch that corresponds to the build. So the video tutorial would basically explain this in detail. This is just your measurements and specifics. So the video tutorial is designed to be used as the main form of instruction on your first couple, and the blueprints will be used basically as the video tutorial prompts you. Once you've done it a couple times, the only thing you're going to need is the blueprints because you're going to know the process by heart. So next we got the inner frame. That just lays out basically the diagram, layout of it. This is your cut table, how many of each piece you need, the length, material type. Outer frame, same deal. It'll have your basically build diagram and then your cut sheet below that. Headache rack components, your build diagram, cut sheet below that. And again, all this stuff is accompanied by a video tutorial module that goes with it that explains everything that the blueprint doesn't explain. So if you look at the blueprint, you don't know what's going on, watch the video tutorial. It's going to explain, fill in all the gaps for you. This is the jig. You only need to build this once. Basically, this is to put the headache rack louvers in. This is the jig that helps you do that. Louver lengths, flat bar, and then that's kind of it. So like I said, this is basically just your specifics for each model. Just, view the blueprint that the customer has the pickup for. Pretty simple stuff on there. Use the video tutorial for the first couple. Next section down is the cut file. So if you do have your own plasma table in-house, basically just have all the cut files here organized for you. So the base parts, you would click on these, and these are all going to be in DXF format. So you would open it up as a Google Drive document. If you click the download button up here in the top right corner, download it to your computer. You can open it on CAD. All this stuff is nested in either a 4x4 area or a 4x6 area. So the single wheel parts, you can do 2 sets of parts per 4x8 sheet. The dually parts, you can basically get 3 sets out of 2 sheets of steel, 4x8 steel. And then Tacomas, other stuff. Also the add-on parts. So if they order, let's say, an octagon fender kit, you would just click on the corresponding model for what they have, cut that out. It's all going to be in DXF format. So that's how the cut files work. If you don't have a CNC table in-house, you can either, and it might be the most economical to send these cut files to somebody locally that does have a CNC table, and they can cut them for you there locally. If that's not an option, you can buy the parts directly from us. So we sell all the base parts, all the add-on parts, We pretty much ship those same or next business day, so it's a fast lead time for you. Now, the only thing that we do require that all dealers buy, regardless of if they have a CNC table or not, is the lights and the mud flaps. So the lighting package is what we call it. That's everything needed to basically it's all the wiring components, lights, resistors, everything needed on a per bed unit that you're going to need for wiring. So this stuff you can choose how many units you buy at a time. The more you buy per order, the cheaper it is per unit. So that's how that would work. So we do have a minimum of 6 beds per year that you do need to sell in order to be in the program. So the purchasing of the lights and the mud flaps, that kind of gives us one data point to prove that you did sell your 6. You should buy at least 6 units of those. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to audit you each year that you renew and ask for photos of the beds that you've built. So we're going to make sure that the amount of beds that you've built and that sort of thing match with the amount of lighting packages and whatnot that you've purchased. So that is a requirement. That's the only thing you need to buy from us. Third-party parts. This is stuff that ships from third parties, mostly from Amazon.com. So this is going to include things such as the toolboxes. We don't build those. It's far more economical to just buy those pre-made. They're a good box for the money. So we got the long bed boxes, short bed boxes, and then the 6-foot Tacoma beds you can put this little bitty box on. So just click on those, and it's going to take you to Amazon, and you can just buy them directly off of Amazon. And like I said, pretty reasonable price, $250 at the time of this recording for one box. You can't build it for that. There's other stuff that you're going to need as well. Most of this is install supplies. So if you go through this list and click on it, most of this stuff ships from Amazon. It's going to tell you how much you need to have on hand. So if you do get into the program, go through this list, order all this stuff in terms of the amount it says to have on hand. And if you need to reorder it, just log in here and click on it, place your order. So that's how that would work. So the next video we're going to go over is basically the Excel sheet. That can be found here under Business Tools on the dealer platform. It also can be found in the due diligence links below the demo videos. So we're going to get into doing that, but that's how the dealer platform works. Like I said, all dealers get their own unique login to log into the system. So let's get into the Excel sheet next.